Hey team, what is up? Welcome back to another live stream here on the channel. Hope everybody's doing good. We are gonna dive into the market, see what is going on, and identify potential trade opportunities. So I'm gonna give everybody a few minutes to tune in, and then we're gonna kick it off. Let me know in the chat if you can hear me loud and clear, and then I'm gonna give everybody, again, a few minutes just to tune in, and then we will dive into the markets. In the meantime, news came in bad for the US dollar, pushing Euro USD up higher slightly. Should also push up. Let me see. Gold higher slightly. Yes. So gold has also pushed up slightly higher after that news came in. So we're going to dive into the markets in a sec. Obviously, have a look at what your USD is doing, and yeah, give everybody a few minutes to tune in. So how is everybody doing today? Let me know in the comments, guys. Hope everybody's doing good and healthy. I've been good myself as well. Obviously, an amazing week so far. We have GBP/USD performing to absolute perfection. AUD/USD performing to absolute perfection. So what can I say? Overall, the week has been good. If you guys were here on the Tuesday stream, you will know that we made some good money on those GBP/USD shorts. You can go back to Tuesday's stream, but I still have the risk to reward tool in here. Obviously, that overall short man on that 1 hour fractal breakdown after grabbing liquidity, that was just too juicy. So yeah, good to see that. Did everybody win some money on GU, guys? Let me know in the comments. Did everybody win a little bit on GU? Let me know. I hope so. In the meantime, I'm just going to share the link to this live stream inside Discord. And then we're going to kick it off, guys. So let's see. So yes. Okay, great. So everybody was able to make some money there on GBP/USD. Fantastic. Well, that is what I want to hear. All right, guys. Now, obviously, we have the core in here already in the live stream. 220 people watching. So make sure to leave a like on the stream, and then we're just gonna dive in into the markets, guys. So make sure to leave a like on the stream, and then we're gonna kick it off. In the meantime, I see some questions. Hey Fabio, by your strategy, how many trades per month and truly say accuracy of at least 1 to 2 do you probably get? Depends really, man. I can take 10 trades, I can take 2 trades at the end of the day. According to the strategy, on average, around 2 setups per week is pretty much what is provided. But I tend to take maybe around, around 2 setups per week. That's pretty much accurate, yeah. GU increased my phase 1 profit target on Alpha Capital. Congratulations, Eric. What is up? Euro USD, sir. Yes, guys. Okay, so everybody's here. We're going to dive into the markets and see what is going on. We're going to start off, as always, with Euro USD, which is currently pushing up higher after the manufacturing data came in worse than expected for the US dollar. Now, guys, Euro USD, I've been talking about it every single day. Overall, the market consolidative. We can see that pretty much since Wednesday last week, we've been within this overall little range in between the high over here, and let's just put it in between the low over here. This is pretty much the range that we're currently stuck in. Go to the, let's say, 1 hour time frame, and then we can draw in the overall range trading tool from the low in towards the highs. And what are you going to be able to see? You are going to see that we keep on rejecting that 25% fib level and pretty much reject that 75% fib level as well. So overall, Euro USD consolidating in between there. For now, it seems good that Euro USD could head up a little bit higher. For now, we have this kind of like perfect descending trend line, which we've been rejecting in towards the downside. I'm looking kind of like for a breakout out of this to push Euro dollar up higher. For now, the overall daily fractal is obviously still bullish. If we just remove this overall drawings, we can see that the daily fractal is bullish between the fractal low here and the fractal high here, and that we are currently situated within an area of daily demand. Now, this daily demand zone should push the market up higher together with the overall swing structure, which is from this low in towards this high. So if we look at it from a market structure perspective and look at the two forms that we have, so on one side the fractal and on the other side the swing, the fractal is what is bullish and the swing is what bullish as well. So obviously then from a market structure perspective, it makes sense for Euro USD to continue pushing up higher, right? Now, there's one thing that I really need to discuss with you guys here on the Euro USD chart, and that's that we have this area of supply. This area of supply is a strong one. You can clearly see that it's preventing the market from pushing up any higher, because otherwise it would have already done so, right? After this bullish candle on last Friday, you can see that the overall demand zone is just really preventing, or the overall supply zone is really preventing price from pushing any higher at the moment. Now, this supply zone is strong because it broke not only this low over here, but it also broke this low over here. Now, we can clearly see after grabbing this low, kind of like as liquidity, the overall internal uptrend started. Now, this is not a very strong low because this is an NFP low, guys. And an NFP low are often lows that are going to be taken out. Now, I'm looking for that NFP low to get taken out before the real push in towards the upside starts. But there is one thing, and that is the fact that this demand zone really doesn't want to break at the moment. So I'm just really waiting for either this fractal low to go or this fractal low to go, or fractal high, excuse me, before any decision is going to be made on what direction I want to trade euro dollar. If this fractal low goes, then I'll be happy to short this towards the NFP low, just like we did on, for example, AUD/USD, which was a beautiful short towards that NFP low, or like we did on GBP/USD. Obviously, that has been selling off in towards the downside. Or even NZD/USD, which obviously sold off massively in towards that overall NFP low. Now, EURUSD is currently lagging behind. That's because mainly we have that event in the US tomorrow, that Jackson Hole Symposium. I think it's in Wyoming or something, someplace in the US. And that is going to make it very clear where EURUSD is going to be heading next. Now, other pairs that are moving similarly to EURUSD are USD/CHF. So USD/CHF has obviously been consolidating. I get a lot of questions. Fabio, can I trade USD/CHF? Guys, USD/CHF looks like, again, a barcode. Same goes for USD/JPY for myself, also a barcode. So I'm really not burning my hands on these pairs already for the past, let's say, 2-3 weeks. So really focusing on mainly a GU or an AU. Now for euro dollar at the moment, I'm waiting, guys. Despite it looking good for maybe some short-term upside, I'll really just prevent myself from taking any unnecessary losses until we really have a clear directional bias, and that is once the daily fractal high or the daily fractal low gets taken out. Now, guys, GBP/USD. Let's discuss that one, because that has been an absolute beauty of a trade for everybody who is here on the live stream on Tuesday. Obviously, I hope a lot of you were able to make money. Well, at the beginning of the stream, I know a lot of you did make money. So that's great to hear. Overall, the market, what did it do? It came up higher in towards what? In towards a swing high. Now, guys, any single time you open your charts, you always need to mark out your swing highs and your swing lows. Obviously, for myself, who's been looking at these charts every single day for the past 5 years, I kind of like already see what swing highs and swing lows I want to note. But if you, let's say, go to an empty chart, doesn't matter what chart. Let's say we look at a GBP/AUD. Well, GBP/AUD is maybe not the best example, but what you always want to be doing, guys, is marking out highs and lows. Okay, so what I mean with that is that if you, let's say, go to the 4-hour time frame, what you're going to be wanting to do is, let's say, and let me just remove the fractal high and low indicator because it's kind of clogging the chart a bit. Let's say we look at this price action here. You want to, for example, look at this as a swing high, because what you're always going to see, regardless of the overall market structure, is that when you have, for example, a swing high and the market takes out that swing high like we did over here, it's likely going to provide somewhat of a reaction. Now, in this particular example, what we saw here was a fractal breakdown. This imbalance becomes supply, and then from there we sell off in towards the downside. Then, for example, on the overall retracement, again, what happens? The market comes back up higher in towards this liquidity high, takes out the liquidity high, then again, change of character down, boom, sells off in towards the downside. Again, for example, with a sell stop here, this setup is actually identical to the GBP/USD setup that we've been trading at the moment. Man, you guys should see this, by the way. This is very interesting to see. So if you look at this overall setup here on GA on the 4-hour time frame, you'll see that it's very similar to the price action that we've seen here on the daily time frame on GBP/USD. Now, I'm obviously not going to say that GU is going to tank as hard as GA did over here, but you can kind of see to a certain extent how similar the price action has been within this overall green box, and now within the overall green box that we have over here. In both instances, and let me just adjust the green box a little bit here. In both instances, after taking out a major liquidity high, you get the change of character down, supply, boom, push the market down lower. Then again here, supply after taking out major liquidity, change of character, boom, market hits down lower. Then we get like this little bump in the road. Here, obviously, initial sellers getting in on this supply zone, like even I did myself on this supply zone over here. I got screwed, or let me just say it, fucked. I think I can say that on live stream on YouTube without getting banned, I hope. Then here, obviously this bearish candle, that's where I got in as an early seller. Yeah, I know, stupid of myself. Even with all my experience, I make these kind of mistakes. Then here as well, you had that bearish candlestick. People try to go short, then boom, comes back up, takes out the liquidity high. This one over here, and then the real kind of momentum, the real drop starts to come. Guys, do we see this? Do we see this in the chat? Are you guys seeing this, what I'm seeing? Because this is the real value. This is how the strategies should be traded, and I want you all to understand this. This is real love, man. Oh, I just love when I see this kind of stuff play out. It's really what I love, man. But I hope you guys are seeing this as well, because this is real value, man. So what I need you guys to do is always mark out those swing highs, those swing lows, because those are the most interesting parts within the market. Again, if we look at, for example, this overall swing low over here, you don't even need to be a fucking genius to see this, right? All you're doing here is marking out a massive swing low, okay? So this is a massive swing low, after which the overall reversal in towards the upside took place, okay? So we mark out that overall swing low. Then what happens here to the right, all those months later, or what is it, months or years? Yeah, months. So all those months later, we come back in towards that overall swing low. Again, guys, what do? We don't even look at market structure. Obviously, if I look at market structure, I can see here break of structure in towards the downside. Then obviously when we're trading over here, we're trading after the break of structure. What do we expect after a break of structure? We expect an overall pullback to take place. Where do we expect the pullback to take place? In towards the overall order flow. What is the overall order flow? The buy up for then even stronger sell in towards the downside. Now, again, guys, very, very, very simple. What do we do? How do we identify a pullback? Who knows? Let me know in the chat, guys. How do we know that a pullback is coming into play? How do we know that a pullback is coming into play, guys? Who knows that? What do we need? We need two things for a pullback to take place. And I want to hear it from you guys. I say it every single time. You guys know it just as well as I do. What do we need for a pullback to take place? Because those two exact things can now be seen over here. And this is literally, again, a beautiful trade that you could have taken. Yeah, I'm trying to not use those swear words, but you guys know, man, I get very passionate when I talk about this stuff. Guys, we need two things. Boss and a chalk. Boss chalk. Break structure chalk. Hit liquidity. Lick chalk. Okay, Farsad, you are right, my friend. Farsad is the first person to have it right. Guys, we need two things, and that is liquidity and a change of character. So what do we have in this particular situation? We have indeed the liquidity low. Okay, so the liquidity gets taken. We're trading after the break of structure, so we can expect an overall pullback to take place. When does the pullback take place? Okay, indeed, once we come in towards that kind of like fictional area of demand, which is the liquidity low that gets taken, and then we just wait for the change of character to take place. Now, the change of character takes place here. Where? On this bullish candle's high. Then again, beautiful area of demand on the overall sell before the buy, and then boom, what do? We go long over here, stop loss underneath the low, and we target a 1 to 2 risk to reward at least. Like on these pullbacks, I always kind of try to, let's say, just focus on the 1 to 2 risk to reward. Like this is the most basic and simple trade that you can take that actually works, guys. That actually works. All you need to have is obviously some bloody patience, because these setups don't come every single day, but they are extremely high probability when they do come. So that's a beautiful setup there on GPAUD. I hope you guys see that as well, that literally trading here from the top and then trading the overall pullback again here on GA was so simple. Like literally within the space of what? This first setup here came 7th of July, then the overall pullback is traded on the 15th of July. So that's already like literally just 6 or 5%, right? Within 1 month on one single pair. Take it with 2% risk. What happens? Boom, you pass your prop from challenge, 10%. Just like that. That is how simple it can be. But you need to have the fucking patience to wait for the setups to come, right? Because it doesn't happen every single week. But when they come, you pass your prop from challenge. Then when you have the challenge, or when you have the funded account, you just trade the 0.5% risk or the 1% risk. Very, very simple. And just go for the high probability trades, and boom, boom, boom. Okay, so then again, what do? We mark out a swing low. Swing low gets taken. This is then on what, the 28th of July. Swing low gets taken. Straight away, what happens? Push back in towards the upside. Here, fractal change in structure. What is your refined area of demand? This sub for the buy all the way down over here. Let's say you again enter over there. Boom, stop loss underneath the lows. Target a 1 to 2 or 1 to 3. Doesn't really matter. Let's say we target a 1 to 2 risk to reward. Here, boom, again, 2%. What is this? 29th of July. So literally within that same month, you're still hitting that third TP, okay? As simple as that, guys. So that's the power of marking out the swing highs and the swing lows. Then obviously, again, here, for example, this is a swing high as well, right? So this is a swing high. Swing high gets taken out. Then obviously we're looking for a pullback to take place. But again, we need two things for a pullback to take place. First of all, we have the overall liquidity high, which should act as an area of supply. So once that liquidity high gets taken out, we want to see that pullback in towards the downside. But what do we need, guys, for that pullback to take place? We need two things, because the liquidity is not enough. The liquidity is not enough. We need that second thing. But do we see it happening? No, because where is the fractal low after taking out liquidity? Here is the fractal low, guys. This is the fractal low. So what do we see happen? The market pushes up higher. Why? Because demand remains in control. So you never take that loss. Guys, you could have taken that short. Obviously, if you look at the 1 hour time frame here, for example, oh my God, man, this is so sexy. Here on the 1 hour time frame, what do we get? Fractal break up, fractal break down, boom. Then take the short here in towards the downside. Let's say you place a stop loss above the highs, counter trend trade. Ooh, this would have been a very close one, man, because obviously you want a minimum of 1 to 2 risk to reward. This would have been a difference of what? 2 pips. So you miss your TP pretty much on 2 pips. Well, we can't win them all, but then again, obviously still, I mean, still a very beautiful setup that I would have, like, I don't even care taking a loss on this one, because obviously price does what? Price retraces in towards discount pricing, right? So if we draw in the premium versus discount tool, you can see the 0.5 fib. That's where the market takes or finds support, right? So let's say you do indeed go short counter trend. Obviously, you have to kind of like manage those positions a little bit more aggressively, because here 0.5 fib initial reaction. Then second time we come back down in towards this area of demand. Then what happens? We fly back up after the change of character taking place over here. This demand zone eventually pushed the market up higher. But guys, what I'm seeing now, this is why I love trading, man, because guys, I look at the market every single day. Look at this piece of price action. Tell me if you, like, if you're a real G, you guys know what piece of price action, because I'm seeing this piece of price action that makes me think of EURUSD on the, I think the 4 hour or the daily chart. It looks at me, look. It looks so similar, man. Look, let me get this EURUSD on the daily chart over here, because this piece of price action that we're seeing here on the left, it looks very similar to this piece of price action that we got here on the right. Because if you look here at EURUSD on the daily time frame, again, we kind of have like a similar candle where, look here, this imbalance is your demand zone, right? So you kind of see it in a similar way. Let me just use the replay tool here on this piece of price action. So if we look here on the left, you kind of see, okay, because EURUSD here also took out liquidity to the left. I can remember that. Look, so let's say you take out the liquidity. Then what happens here on the right on EURUSD? You get the overall, because look, this is kind of like this. Then you have this strange demand zone. That's this strange demand zone over here. And then what happens? You tap into it, you fly off, you fly off. It's literally kind of like the exact same price action, totally different pairs, totally different time frames, but you can see how similar they are, right? So what happens here is that in both instances, you grab liquidity. Then what happens? Change of character low breaks. This is supply. And then you can take the shorts in towards the downside, stop loss above the highs. And you can see, look, if you trade minimum 1 to 2 risk to reward, you see you never hit that 1 to 2 risk to reward. You reject that area of demand. Here, it's the exact same thing. The 1 to 2 risk to reward is not there. You hit this demand zone and then you fly back up. But you can kind of see how similar the pieces of price action are. And this is something to take note of, because when you trade those reversals, you need to learn from these moments and kind of like see the overall similarities between the different time frames, between the different pairs, because you can learn from this and you can translate that into your overall understanding of the market. Because when you then see it in the future, you're going to take that into account when taking those other setups, right? Yeah, man, fuck, this is so clean. This is so good to understand, so good to know. But this is why, man, like, really, like, you have to kind of like express your overall thoughts on the market, overall what you see in the market. I need to share it with people. The only reason why I'm recognizing this stuff is because I share this shit every single day, right? Every single day I look at EURUSD, and that's why I can remember what happened back in April and how that then looked like on GPAUD in a very similar way. Now, let's dive back into those markets, see what's happening, and yeah, identify those potential opportunities, because I know a lot of you are looking at GJ at the moment, and I'm still in the replay tool. I bet a lot of you would have loved that to sell off really, really bloody hard. Yeah, guys, thank you for listening to my rant. I mean, the reason that I'm ranting is because I know it works so well. Even though people still hate me for sharing all that value, like, I just know it works so well. Man, I just fucking love this shit, you know. Like, for me, this is real art. You can bring me to the bloody best museum, to the Louvre in Paris or whatever. Look at the Mona Lisa. I don't give a shit. But if you give me a beautiful trade example on Euro USD 4-hour time frame and compare it to like a GP AUD from 2 years ago, and it's the exact same thing, man, you're gonna make me very, very happy. Because I love money, guys. That is what I love. I love money, and I love trading, man. It's what makes me the happiest thing in the world. And I really, really kind of like this week, looking at GPUSD, looking at AUDUSD, seeing those overall trades play out to absolute perfection. That is what remembers me how much I love trading, man. And again, it just reminds me, man, like how easy it can be, bro. Like, I kind of said it on Instagram yesterday as well. Like, you can be kind of like 3 weeks waiting. You take maybe one loss on kind of like being impatient. And then in that 4 bloody days of this week, something like everything comes together, bro. Like, literally everything comes together. Like GPUSD, AUDUSD, everything comes together. And then there's just so much money to be made, man. And then suddenly, boom, 300k in added funding, boom, 10 accounts ready for payouts, boom, private account making good returns. Like, it's how fast it can go. Yeah, everybody loves money, man. But okay, guys, let's have a look. GJ, a lot of you are looking obviously at GJ. Yeah, I mean, GJ looks good for an overall sell-off, in my opinion. Again, what has GJ done if we zoom out, guys? If we zoom out, overall, we had obviously a liquidity high. So what do we always do? We mark at the liquidity highs. Now, as you can see, again, you don't even need to look at market structure always. All you need to do is mark out the overall swing highs and the overall swing lows. So what we have here is a swing high, right? What we have here is a swing high. Now, again, I'm not even looking at the overall market structure. Obviously, the overall market structure, the overall momentum is in towards the highs. But again, what you just simply do is when you take out a massive swing high on the daily, on the weekly, what you then want to do is you want to wait for the market to reverse in towards the downside. So here, we grab liquidity. Okay, what do we need for a reversal, guys? Let me just, because the bloody thing is going down again. Let me just put it up. Whatever, fuck that shit. So guys, again, what do we need for a reversal to take place? We need two things only. We need, first of all, liquidity to get grabbed. Okay, so we have the overall liquidity high, liquidity gets grabbed, as we can see. So now we zoom in, guys, we zoom in. So here we had, for example, the first liquidity grab already take place. But let's focus on this one, because I like this one even more. Because on this first one, we didn't get an overall change of character, right? Because in the first one, this overall demand zone, here you can see remained in control. This demand zone pushed the market up higher again. So we didn't take a loss on that first liquidity grab that took place over here. So what do we then wait for? We wait for the actual change of character to take place. So the change of character took place after breaking which low? The low of this bullish candle over here. Okay, that is the change of character low that took place. Then buy before the sell here becomes your overall supply zone. You could have refined it to this individual doji candle over here. Then what happens? Literally, you make the overall retracement over here. And then what happens? Go to the 4-hour time frame, and then the overall sell-off in towards the downside eventually happened after again taking out what? Taking out the swing high. Again, taking out the swing high. If you watch my videos, you will know that this here is a fake area of supply. Again, fake area of supply gets taken out because why is this fake supply? There's no liquidity in the push down. What happens? Liquidity itself gets grabbed, and then the real bloody sell-off in towards the downside happens. Just like that. So always pay attention to those liquidity, because when you take out an overall swing high, and you're looking for the overall setup and you get this overall supply zone, there needs to be enough liquidity, because otherwise the overall supply zone itself will get taken out, and then you can kind of like take these kind of short stop loss here and target like 1 to 3 risk reward. But this is obviously kind of like the ideal situation. Let's now focus on GJ and what is going on now, because guys, the reason that I'm looking for potential GJ short is because the JPY basket is looking good to potentially push up higher. Okay, so why did first of all the Japanese yen sell off down today? Does anybody know why the Japanese yen took a beating today, guys? This is an important note to take. I want to see if you guys are kind of paying attention to the world and to news. Why did Why did the Japanese yen take a little bit of a beating today? Because something happened in the world. Something happened in the world today. I shared this in the market update. Fabio, on drugs or caffeine? Man, I've had 3 Coke Zeros, man. I feel like some kind of like degen. Before you know it, we're going to be selling and buying meme coins here on stream, bro. Sam, my G. Guys, Sam is a good friend of mine. He's been in TTA since back in 2020. COVID times. Of course, guys, always explanations, man. Just always trying to help. That's what I'm trying to do. Now, does anybody know why the Japanese yen sold off in towards the downside today? Well, it is because there was a trade deal established between the United States and the Eurozone. So when a trade deal is established, people are making love, man. People are in love. People are kissing, you know? Like, let me try and do a kissing emoji. This is the ugliest kissing emoji ever. But you guys know what it is. This should be a star, and these should be 2 eyes. On like, if you send this on WhatsApp to someone, you send it like this. Like, this is what you send. Now, obviously, the US and the Euro are making love. So what happens when 2 countries make love who have been kind of like in a fight or in a clash together? The Japanese yen and the Swiss franc, they take a beating. That's what happens, because those are the safe havens. So when there is love being made, the safe havens take a beating. That's why obviously the Japanese yen sold off in towards the downside. Now, the Japanese yen in itself, though, here on the 4-hour time frame is looking in some way similar to the dollar index, man. If we look at it, what we have here on the left, and you compare it to the dollar index on the 4-hour time frame, and my charts look like some Chinese guy, but what I'm trying to say here, or maybe the daily will be a better explanation. So look, overall, we have kind of like this little uptrend here. We have this little uptrend here. So I'm now looking at the Japanese yen. Thanks, Divyo. I'm looking at the Japanese yen, and I'm looking at it, and I can see that we kind of have this little internal uptrend going on, right? So push up, pull back, push up, pull back. So what I'm looking for is this just to continue up higher. Today, the Japanese yen made an overall retracement into the 0.5 fib, rejecting the 0.5 fib, and we're now looking for upside continuation. So there is potential for the Japanese yen to head up higher. Here on the daily time frame, we have a strong area of demand, right? This is a strong area of demand. Why? Because it took out liquidity. So when an area of demand, so sell before a big buy up, takes out a massive low, what then happens? You have a potential long on your hands. Look, if we look at this from a swing low perspective, again, what do we need? Once we take out the swing low, we need the change of character. Where does the change of character happen? It happens here, boom, and then boom. So this sub for the buy is then your overall demand zone, and that should now push the market up higher as it grabbed liquidity and demand in itself was formed and hit. So now we're looking for the overall continuation in towards the upside on the Japanese yen, and that would mean that GJ has the potential to sell off in towards the downside. GJ obviously on the higher time frame took out liquidity, and in addition to that, we had a fake area of supply over here. Fake area of supply, guys, gets taken out because there's liquidity above this overall high, because there's no liquidity in the overall push down in itself. So then you can expect the overall supply zone to get taken out. We wait for the supply zone to get taken out, and now we're looking for the real drop in towards the downside to happen, okay? So what I'm now looking at after that high gets taken out, I'm now looking for the 4-hour to potentially indeed continue its overall sell-off. So we've now retraced into this area of supply. Let's have a look at the 1-hour, okay? So the only thing I don't see on the 1-hour time frame, guys, is liquidity in the move down in itself, okay? And there's also no change of character low. So this is not the ideal setup for myself, because for me now the overall fractal low is somewhere down here. And in addition to that, there's no liquidity in the overall push. This is a nice supply zone though, because it took out this highs or these highs, and then it sold off. So again, a lot of liquidity being generated to create the actual sell-off. So for myself still, GJ is a nice potential sell-off down, and I would be happy to look at potentially seeing this drop down lower, guys. So congratulations if you're in any GJ sells. That looks good. Going into GPUSD, GU is heading down lower again. Ooh, big drop down. Guys, I'm still looking, like, I'm not going to lie, I'm still kind of looking for some more downside on GU. I could be very wrong, because again, tomorrow we have that Jackson Hole thing in the US. That could change everything. It's all going to be dependent on what is said tomorrow, what the dollar is going to be doing next. But I would just love for GU to continue selling off, man, all the way back down in towards that NFP low. We all make a shit ton of money and we all happy, man, if we see that happen. Because look, but then look, then together what I want to do with you guys is I want to do this. So when you're USD, for example, tomorrow, let's say tomorrow, okay, overall, we get a very strong dollar, and the fractal low here breaks on the low. Then we're going to look to sell Euro USD back down in towards this NFP low. All of us happy, all of us make shit ton of money. Okay, that's going to be the overall goal. If that happens and that daily fractal low breaks, then what I'm going to do is I'm also going to be looking at that GBP USD sell. So I want to see that GBP USD sell happen in towards this overall NFP low. Okay, and then all together we get in GU sells, we get in EU sells, and we all make happy money. That is what's going to happen, inshallah. I hope that would be very nice. So that's what I'm looking for in GPUSD, and yeah, let's see if that happens. So that is pretty much what I'm looking for in a nutshell. But I won't get into GPUSD sells now. I'm looking at EURUSD, and I want EURUSD to first of all break that fractal low on the daily time frame, because otherwise EURUSD could just head up higher, and then GPUSD will probably make a higher up pullback. Okay, so EURUSD is indeed the boss. Magic City Trader, well said. So I want to see this overall low break, then an overall short for myself back down in towards that NFP low will take place, and then here we have a gap of around 140 pips, or well, even more. No. This is a gap of 200 pips, so then we have around 200 pips of money to be made, man. Okay, so guys, that is mainly what yes, I lived in Dubai for 2.5-3 years. HRB, I lived in the Middle East. I did Ramadan even for a month when I was living there. So looking at EURUSD, looking at gold. Gold is pushing back up higher, by the way, guys. Yeah, so gold this morning, kind of like gold maybe looks good for a buy up. What do you guys say? Because what I see here on gold, for example, 4-hour time frame wise, what is happening? We obviously have the overall sell for the big buy up on the daily time frame. We tapped in towards this daily imbalance over here. I'm kind of looking for this to potentially push up higher. Overall, I want to see now the upside continuation. Strong 4-hour close, potentially taking place in 55 minutes. On the 1-hour time frame, what we're now seeing is kind of like what I discussed this morning. Liquidity underneath these lows over here. Then what I'm now looking at is, okay, here the change of character taking place on the 1-hour time frame. This here is a sub for the buy up. Now I'm just looking for the overall continuation to take place here on the 1-hour time frame from this overall sub for the buy in towards the upside. Guys, I swear I'm not AI today. I'm actually Fabio. I'm just full of energy and full of passion because markets are looking good, so I want to make money with you guys. That is my main goal. Now, guys, today on Discord we're doing a big announcement, so make sure to be there. Something interesting is going to happen. It's going to be this afternoon inside Discord. I'm looking forward to announcing it. It's something very personal, which I've been looking forward to do for a very long time. Haven't done it, really postponed it due to personal reasons, but we're going to do some fun stuff inside Discord, man. So make sure to be inside Discord this afternoon because I'm going to do a big announcement, and we're all going to make money together. So looking at the rest of the market, NZD/USD ranging like a barcode. For the rest, guys, let me know what pairs you guys are looking at. I want to see where everybody else is making money because at the moment I don't see too much. Obviously the major moves have already taken place. Euro GBP flew up in towards the upside. Looking at Euro GBP, I'm still looking for somewhat of an upside continuation. I still think Euro GBP has some room to push up higher. Kind of like at least this is my next target. So I see Euro GBP making another move, at least 25 pips. Not too much. Sorry, guys. Would have wanted to provide you with more. But look, Euro GBP. Woo. Euro GBP actually gave a really clean move. Did anybody make any money on Euro GBP? Because look, guys. Okay. Guys. Who sees this setup on Euro GBP? Because what I'm seeing here is, again, a prime example of why I love looking at Euro GBP from a liquidity perspective, because what we have here on Euro GBP, for example, this overall swing low over here, okay, so this here is a swing low because it's kind of like a V-shaped reversal all the way back in towards the highs. A lot of lows kind of like to take out this low over here but fail to do so. Then what happens on Euro GBP is that we take out the overall swing low. So what do we then want to see? We want to see the overall change of character take place. So where's the change of character high? Over here, right? So this is a change of character that takes place, meaning that this overall sell for the buy is then your area of demand. What happens? We come back down in towards that demand zone and then we lift off. But sometimes when price comes in towards demand, you want to have extra confirmation. So what do you then wait for to happen? You wait for the equal lows to get taken out. So here we had the equal lows, right? So this is like the major low. Boom. Equal low gets taken out. This demand zone in itself is strong. Then what happens? We tap in towards that overall demand zone, and then over here we just lift off in towards the upside after the change of character taking place here. Man, this was a nice setup as well to take back in towards the highs. You could have used a little bit of a smaller stop loss. At your overall peak, you would have been up around 1.5%, but that was also a very nice setup on Euro GBP, man. Did anybody look for those longs on Euro GBP? Because this was a very nice setup, and now obviously trading it back up in towards this overall liquidity high that we have over here. Again, liquidation, change of character, it's all you really need. Even if you look at this from a market structure perspective, obviously here you have, let's say, a break of structure down. You would use this as kind of like premium versus discount. Here you're trading at a discount pricing. You're looking for the overall retracement to take place. When do you expect the retracement to take place? Once you grab liquidity. Okay, so liquidity gets grabbed. Then what do we need in addition to liquidity in order to look for the overall pullback to take place? We need the change of character. Change of character takes place over here. Demand form, boom, we fly up higher. Then obviously what's going to be the overall target? The overall target is going to be the liquidity high. And then once that liquidity high gets taken out, and then you see a change of character, then maybe a short back in towards the downside. Or we just continue following the overall order flow back in towards the highs, back up in towards, for example, this swing high over here. As simple as that. Yeah, man. Oof. We're in sync with the markets, guys. We're in sync with the markets. But that's what I'm overall looking at. On Euro GBP, like they say in Holland. Hollandia. Looking at this from a range trading tool perspective, by the way, as well. Nice to see 75% of the range, 25% of the range, 25% of the range we're looking for buys, 75% of the range looking for sells. Again, this is for me kind of like a range. Another good example, let's see what UJ has been doing. Yeah, so guys, again, if you want to kind of like apply these concepts to, for example, USD JPY, how you can then again do it when the market is ranging. Let's say this here is the high, this here is the low. Oops, that was not supposed to happen. This here is the low, okay? So what happens again, here we form equal lows. Then what happens, this is a change of character high. The low gets taken out over here. Then again, this forms to be demand. And then what happens within that demand zone, you retrace in towards where? In towards 0.5 fib at least. And then on the lower time frame, probably being the 15-minute, you'll probably see that here at the lower bound of the range, you get somewhat of a 15-minute change of character. Well, this is obviously a news announcement on that Friday of 15th of August. But then again, you see that after taking liquidity on the 4-hour time frame and then looking at the 4-hour change of character, you again see that there's potential to take a long back in towards the upside. Again, easy 150 pips to be made. Now, guys, I think I've spit a lot of fire. What are the questions? What are the questions? What are the things that are still unclear and preventing you from making a shit ton of money and passing prop from challenges? What is preventing you from doing that? Because I'm looking at all of these setups and I'm seeing money being made left, right, center. Yeah, fuzzle, indeed. Swing high over here, looking for potential pullback to take place. We're now at the 2.0 level, which is a key area of resistance. So indeed, potential shorts could come into play here on Euro NZD. No druv. You're not missing anything. Tabby, thanks. Love you too, man. Appreciate you being here and watching this session. Guys, leave a like. How much likes can we get on today's stream? Because today we are performing, man. We are seeing a lot of opportunities. Only 171 likes. Guys, come on. Let's ramp it up today to 300. A lot of value being spitted here on the stream. Only bit, like they say in Holland. Struggling with entry. How do you deal with uncertainty and doubt when in trading or entering a trade? Manny, you just need to execute, man. The less pairs you trade, the more kind of like confidence you will have to be able to enter setups. That's why I only trade the major dollar pairs, because I have a lot of kind of like certainty in the sense that if you trade 20 or 30 different pairs, like a lot of you ask me, Fabio, why don't you trade 20 or 30 different pairs? Guys, because first of all, I have a life. Second of all, I want to be confident with my win rate. Like when you have 20 different pairs, you're never going to be able to take always the highest probability kind of like probability setup, because sometimes you're not going to take the high probability setup on GBP and USD because you're going to be taking the high probability setup on your USD. Then what's going to happen is you're going to miss out on trades, and then for example you take the bad setup, that ends up being a loss. Like the win rates will kind of like cross each other, if that makes sense in a way. If you only trade your USD, you're only going to be kind of like dependent on the win rate of your USD. But if you combine Euro USD with a GBP NZD and a Euro GBP and a gold and whatever, like the win rates will fluctuate a lot more. So I personally saw in my equity curve that there was a lot more kind of like variation, and the overall standard deviation. So let's say the deviation of the average, the curve went much more up and down and up and down and up and down. Obviously, you can win more in a row, but you're also going to lose more in a row. So that's from myself what happened. Fabio, happy birthday, or hope you had a great birthday. Do you personally only look for entries during New York? Well, first of all, thank you for the happy birthday wish. My birthday was Sunday, guys, for anybody wondering. I had an amazing birthday. I got a pizza oven for my birthday. Be making pizza every single day. So if I look fat on the stream, then you guys know why that is. But to answer your question, Adrian, do you personally only look for entries during the New York session? No, I do not. Silver is also a pair a lot of people have been asking about. GJ still ranging. GJ looks good in a certain way to head down lower. George, is 50% win rate achievable using the TTA strategy? Yes. It's a little bit hard. I would say 45% is it about it. I'm break even now for 3 to 4 months. It's getting frustrating. Share all your trade breakdowns inside Discord, Dibio. Guys, in the meantime, this afternoon there's going to be a massive announcement inside Discord, so make sure to be there. Inside Discord is where it's going to take place, guys. So make sure to be there again. If you're not inside Discord, make sure to check out the pinned comment in the comment section. Do you trade oil? Not so much, Vladislav. Just found you today. Thanks, Rage Baiter. Thanks for not rage baiting me. Fabio, what do you do with your profits? Do you continue to skill, or do you invest in equities and fixed income with your winnings? Yes, I invest in equities, fixed income, and I invest in myself. So what I do with the profits that I make on prop firm accounts is that they put them into personal accounts. Then I trade the personal accounts myself because I outperform equities and fixed income markets. But obviously, for diversification purposes, I also invest in that. Fabio, more videos on fractal structure? Sure will do. Druv, you are spamming the chat, so you're officially putting a timeout like a little boy. So ciao. Sorry, Druv, nothing personal, but you just can't spam the chat, bro. Fabio, how do you manage your trading psychology so you can trust your setup and hold your trades without closing them too early? At what point do you realize your mindset was strong? Man, I remember my mindset was strong as fuck back in the beginning of this year. January, EURUSD, you guys remember it, man. Back on EURUSD, daily time frame, 4-hour time frame, when the tariffs started kicking in, it was down over here. So what happened to myself is that I took some initial losses. I took some reason why I took some longs in here on euro, but then it just headed down lower again, even lower than I expected. So my funded accounts of Alpha Capital were trading at like 92k, so like 8% in drawdown. I shared screenshots of this inside Discord, so you can check there. And then here on the 4-hour time frame, what happened is that I took a long pretty much from like this demand zone over here. So I put a long over here somewhere, and then I added my stop loss underneath the low. I targeted like a 1 to 3 risk to reward. And then my account, I took this same trade on like GPUSD as well, and on AUD, all of them buys, and then I made a good amount of money. And with that, I kind of mean like the overall account went from 92,000 all the way back up to 103,000, and then I got that payout. That for me was like a real moment where I understood, okay, guys, the mindset is good. The reason why I have a strong mindset is because, again, I kind of speak into existence what I want to see. Every single day, I analyze the market, I share what I want to see, and I just wait for that to happen. And I can kind of like have you guys to keep me accountable, because believe it or not, when I say something and I do something else, or when I say something one day on Monday and then on Tuesday I say something else, I get a lot of messages. Fabio, like, why the fuck did you say this? Or Fabio, why the fuck are you doing that? So you guys are there to keep me accountable, and that really kind of helps me to keep myself accountable in a way. Fabio, do you plan on maintaining the TTA Academy for a long time? Yeah, I mean, Tiago, I'm here for always, and I'm just happy to provide the profitable traders who have come from who I've taught. They now have a platform within the Trading Academy to help you guys again as well. That's why we have such amazing market updates channels within the Discord. Like all of these guys who you see are a part of the team, they've all been taught by myself and by Rutger, for example. And now they're profitable traders making a full-time income from trading. And now they have a platform to share their overall trades. And even them, or they, are still kind of like doing their own full-time job. So for example, Jimmy, he's a full-time barber, but also making a full-time income from trading. So he's just really like working full-time and just swinging on the 4-hour time frame and making money consistently with those props. Is trading ICT worth it? ICT means I can't trade, so don't waste your time. Fabio, can I take shorts on Euro NZD? It's too early for that, the procrastinator. But I see you're spamming the chat, so again, you as well. Like a little boy, you're going to be put in a timeout. Sorry, bro. Is Thomas coming back? Thomas is currently focusing on himself. He has quite a few things going on, and he also has another business related to e-commerce, which he's currently focusing on. So he'll come back in the future, but for now, trading is just not his main focus, and he just passively swing trades. Rutger has a YouTube channel. No, he's just here on the Trading Academy YouTube channel with myself. Sometimes he's going to be here on stream as well. Is there a specific video explaining your complete strategy? Yes, inside Discord. There's today going to be a channel called Resources, and you can find everything that you need to know inside there. ICT is the greatest. ICT Neo, yeah, look at your name. I believe you, ICT Neo. I'm sure. No, guys, I just always joke around, man. Like, you can be profitable with whatever. Again, you saw it probably in the last London vlog when we were in London at the Alpha Capital office, where I was invited by Alpha Capital themselves for my trading performance. They themselves, like, the trades that I met there, like, there's guys trading or making 20K a week trading support and resistance. So the only thing that's holding you back is your overall mindset and your self-limiting beliefs, man. I just found you today. What session do you trade? Mainly London and New York, Elton. Fabio, which prop firm do you decide or do you suggest starting with? I suggest starting with the Trading Pits. There's a link to them here. You can join them through there. Is Mitchell coming back? He's gone after making some good profits like a wizard. Yeah, he made 5 million and now he's never coming back. Aditya. He went and started a goat farm in Morocco in the mountains. And now he's learning Arabic. And I've heard he also found a Moroccan wife, and he's already produced 5 kids, and he goes riding his donkey to town every single day. So yeah, I guess the better life than living here in Amsterdam. I was looking at resources this morning, but they've gone. They're coming back this afternoon, Craig. Fabio, when is the Porsche 911 arriving? Man, not in Holland. Maybe when I'm back in Dubai, I'll get back to driving a Porsche. I used to drive a Porsche, but when I'm back outside of Europe. Where's the Alessio? He's the GOAT. Yeah, Alessio is amazing, man. Alessio's currently focusing on himself, but I hope he's going to be back in the future. Morocco is heaven. Those Morocco wives give birth fast. Yeah, bro, like Rafael, Mitchell has 10 wives, so that's why he has so many kids. What would you say is the most important part in trading, like your psychology and strategy and things like that? Yeah, I think psychology is like really 80% of it, man. Like, you need to be able to hold trades. That's just the hardest part. Like, you can see I'm giving you guys all of these trade breakdowns here, right? And you can see how often the strategy actually works. But at the end of the day, the biggest problem is that people can't hold on to trades, right? So if we look at, for example, EuroCAD. Okay, so with EuroCAD, let's say, again, we're looking here at the 4-hour time frame. So EuroCAD, again, what happens, here we have a swing high. Again, oof, this is like GPAUD. Here we have a swing high. Then what happens with the swing high, we need, first of all, to trade the reversal. The swing high as the overall supply zone. Then here we need the overall change of character to take place as well. So here we have the change of character in towards the upside. Here we have the change of character in towards the downside. Then this here is the overall supply zone. Now, I trade a lot of times just the fractal low break. Stop loss above the high, and then here, boom, 1 to 2 risk to reward on the overall pullback trade. Now, this here is, again, an overall beautiful setup, but you need to have balls, man, because you're going to be holding this overall setup for how long? Around 2 days and 8 hours. But once price comes, for example, in towards this low over here, and starts giving you this rejection candle, you're going to start shitting your pants, for sure. And you're going to start thinking, ooh, should I buy on this rejection candle? Like, that's your thought process. So you need to have the stomach to hold on to those trades. So again, identifying, it's not that hard. You can identify setups anywhere, but you just have to have the overall stomach to hold onto the position, not have FOMO and wait for the right confluences. Fabio was good, bro. Is there a specific video explaining your strategy inside Discord? Make sure to join. Link is in the description, or link is here in the chat to the Discord. So make sure to join this afternoon. There's going to be a resources channel where you can find everything together. Do 1 minute scalpers bathe and have showers? I'm not sure they do. No, I don't think so, George. I'm up 10% currently with my trades this week and I want to close them, but I'm targeting NFP lows that you pointed out. So hard to keep them open when they are that high. Yeah, brother, 10% in a week. You're already outperforming 99% of the world. So I would close, but it's obviously dependent on your own situation. What are you trying to achieve? Are you passing prop firm challenges? Like, it's all going to be dependent on that. Yeah, so EuroCAD, I think the last trade breakdown that we have to do over here. After that, I'm going to head off and I'm going to take a breath because my voice is about to disappear. Guys, all we need to see here, again, beautiful trade breakdown. EuroCAD, break of structure in towards the highs. Then we have here swing low in towards swing highs. So, guys, all you are seeing here is, again, impulsive phase in towards the highs. Then we have the overall pullback phase. So pullback phase takes place all the way in towards the downside. Let's say we change this into an orange zone. So this is the orange zone, this is the overall pullback phase, and now again we're in the impulsive phase in towards the highs. Now first of all, look at the daily. The daily overall is trending in towards the highs, so you're mainly going to be focusing on looking at potential buys, right? Now first of all, you go back to the daily and you identify that you have a daily imbalance here that is an area of demand. So you're looking for an overall long position within this area of daily demand. Then you drop down into towards the 4-hour time frame. On the 4-hour time frame, you can refine that daily demand to this 4-hour demand zone. The 4-hour demand zone is the overall sub for the buy candle over here. Then what happens? You tap into that. So here you want to look, for example, for lower time frame confirmation. You go to the 1 hour, and what do we see? We see the first tap in towards that area of demand over here with this low. Now, let's say that is your first demand zone from where you go long, and you place the long position over here, stop loss underneath the low. Well, look, you get tagged out. Okay, well, that is the first loss taken. Then what happens? Again, you wait for the market to shift in your favor. Then what happens here? 1 hour change of character up took place over here. Again, here what happens? This is then the demand zone. From that point onwards, you just take the overall buy stop here on the highs, stop loss underneath the lows. Here you make back the position at least 1 to 2.5 R, and then obviously it's the overall new higher high. That's a 1 to 3 R. So you could still be in this position in towards the highs, and then here minus 1%, plus 3%, or plus 2.5%, whatever way you want to look at. And then again, this week alone, you'd have made here just on EuroCAD 2.5%. As simple as that. So guys, I want to thank you all for being here today, and make sure to join Discord. Link is in the description of this video, or here inside the chat. Do you actually make some trades live? Yes, Dominic, you can watch back the stream on Tuesday. We call GPUSD shorts there live. Today there has not really been any trades because overall the moves have already played out. Okay, Dominic, I do actually trade live. You can cry here. I'm just, again, sharing free value, but you will just be banned from the stream because, again, you're crying like a little bitch. Go help yourself, Dominic. Find God. Find something that will give you purpose in life instead of wasting your time on somebody who's just trying to help people here for free. Again, guys, I'm not selling you anything. If you want to find help or you want me to help you, it's all up to you. I'm sharing everything you need to know here on stream. My entire trading strategy is here, guys. You can see it. I'm not hiding anything. I'm not giving you 4 pieces of confluence and then saying you need to pay for the 5th. I'm giving the whole strategy here for free. So you can trade the strategy by just watching this video back today. Okay? And if that's the way, good luck. I'm going to be inside Discord there to help you every single day, like I've been doing for the past 4 or 5 years. If you need more support, then obviously I'm here as well. If you want to sit down with me one-on-one, I'm here to support you as well. But it's not like I'm gatekeeping information. Everything is here, inside of these streams, inside the Discord. So again, I'm here to help you guys. And if you don't believe me, then you just feel free to go and watch ICT and lose money for the rest of your life. Yeah, guys, thank you so much. Appreciate you all. What can I say? Another daily market outlook is coming back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. Central Eastern Time. Today, we're going to be doing amazing things. Amazing moments are going to start happening inside Discord. So make sure to be there. I want to thank you all for being here today. Discord is going to be the place where it's going to happen. Guys, let's get the money train back on the road. Thank you all for being here. And take care, guys. Sending you love, happiness, and what can I say, man? A lot of prosperity. I just wish you all the best thing in the world because I love you all and life is beautiful. Remember that. So yeah, guys, take care. Ciao.